You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Welcome back to I Am Refocused Radio. Once again, we have a special guest today, Tami Reiss. She is a leadership coach, a product strategy expert, and she is the Chief Enthusiasm Officer at The Leader Within. You are going to be in for a great treat because she has great experience. I mean, somebody like her with over 20 years of experience is someone that you don't want to just look over. She has earned her stripes. She has put a ton of work. She has worked with giant brands, Fortune 500 giants like JPMorgan and Humana. Let's just cut to the chase because I don't want to spend another 20 minutes just reading her resume. First and foremost, before I run out of breath, Tami, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. It is a beautiful sunny day in Miami and life is good.
Well, I know you have a global audience. You have a great story that we'll dive into. You're also known as the creator of Just Not Sorry. We'll learn about that Gmail plugin. But first, let's plug you in and say, can you share a little bit about your professional world?
So right now, I focus on training groups within corporations, associations, nonprofits, etc., about influence without authority. I spent my career, as you said, in product management, where influence without authority is everything, because very rarely do we have people that report into us. And then I spent probably 5 years as an executive coach. What I kept seeing time and time again was that executives needed to be reminded to turn on their influence. They all of a sudden had all of this authority and they didn't understand why people weren't listening to them or weren't bringing their best selves or most creative selves. They weren't delivering their best work. And it was because they were simply telling people to do something. They were taking that command and control method and nobody likes that. So I had to teach them to influence all over again. And now I teach large groups of people the value of motivation and inspiration and activation for other people so that we can all work together to make the world a little better.
You have a mantra that's kind of famous and is everything is a product, even you. Tell us, how did you come up with that and give us the meaning behind that?
So as a product manager, certain principles we operate by. Number one, you serve someone. Right? You are building a product for someone. They have a need out there. And so the concept of service is there. So I am here to serve your audience in this case, my audience in other cases, larger, ideal customer profile if you want in other places, but I'm here to serve, right? I have to have purpose. I have to provide value to others. So no one's going to buy a product that doesn't bring them value. There are lots of ways to deliver value, but you have to think about, who do I want to deliver value to? Who do I want to be in service of? What are their needs? How can I provide something that they will appreciate? So that's number one in product. Number two is you can't do it alone. No one builds products all by themselves. It's all a team effort. It's all a group project. And that's a really good mentality. Like, don't take it all upon yourself. Who is in your circle? Who is in your next circles and next circles that are there to support you when you support them? What kind of relationships are you developing that will assist you in rising as you help others rise? And then the last thing about product is all about iteration. You're probably not going to get it right the first time. So whether that's the email you wrote, the brand you chose, the color, whatever, be okay with imperfection. Know that we're all work in progress. Know that every mistake is an opportunity to learn and iterate and try better next time. And so thinking of yourself and everything you do as a product means it's okay if I didn't land that job in the interview. What am I going to learn from that experience so I'm more prepared next time? It's okay if that guy didn't want to go on a second date with me. Did I bring my best self? What could I have done better? Et cetera, et cetera. And continuously improving ourselves. We have this concept in product management. It's a Japanese concept called Kaizen, which is continuous small improvements. And so when you think about yourself in that way, that it's okay that this is where I want to be and I'm only here right now, but every step along the way is worth celebrating, because every step along the way, I'm better, I'm delivering more value and more service to others. And that's what thinking of yourself as a product is all about.
That ties into a framework that you developed too, the L.E.A.D framework, where you are helping leaders not just look forward, but you're also helping them to empower their teams, activate their supporters, and also, very important, be decisive.
Very important to be decisive. Nobody likes an indecisive leader. Nobody. It's the responsibility of leadership to both set that vision, as you said, L, look towards the future, to E, empower their teams to help make it happen, to provide them the tools and the support so that success is inevitable. A gets back to that, who else is here? What does the team look like? Who do we need to activate to make things happen across the team, other companies, partners? And then finally, like, people are looking at me. I'm the leader. I need to make choices. And even more so, I need to make choices and explain the thought process behind them in a way that enables other people to make choices too. Because if every decision comes at me as a leader, I have failed. I have failed. But if I communicate my thought process, my decision-making, my prioritization in a way that helps other people peel back that onion a little bit so that they can do their jobs without turning to me all the time, that's where leadership is. That's what leadership is about.
When you work with leaders in your field, out of those four, which one seems to be the most problematic bug in their system that bogs them down in their team?
It depends on the person. Some people are really confident decision makers. Other people are more wishy-washy. They're waiting for more data. Some people forget the importance of having a vision, right? They just are like, okay, we're just operational. We're doing things. And then the importance of reminding people, we've got a destination in mind. We have a world we want to create together. There's a better future out there that our work here is going to produce. And let's be connected to that. And other people are too visionary and they forget to make decisions in a way that other people do, and they need to be there micromanaging. And similarly, those visionaries often forget to provide the operational support that people need to be empowered. And then the activation, I think, is actually the thing most people forget. Because when you already are a leader, you think, okay, I'm just going to say things and do things, and I'm the boss. But in reality, you need to have deputies around that you can have them become the boss of their area. And that's the influence side of things that I think more than anything people forget about.
Once again, listen to Refocused Radio, watching us online and listening to us on radio and podcast, talking to our special guest, Tami Reiss. That influence that you kind of teased there is basically going to my next question. That is, many people in leadership, they have to understand that title that they carry, it has more than a nice little title. It's a little bit more than that. It comes with not just responsibility, but I would say it comes with an opportunity for you to have impact. So as I land the plane here on this question is, what are the first maybe one thing a non-manager should do in order to have a buy-in for an idea to gain influence?
So when it comes to influence, I have the core belief that the most important thing is to recognize that the other side is a person, right? If you're trying to get buy-in, you're getting buy-in from a person, not a stakeholder, not a person. So what causes people to do things? What causes people to be excited? And recognizing that they're a individual person, not a group of people, not a statistic, not an average. This one person has the things that are going to drive them, and I need to address that. And so I created very short 3-letter acronym around that, which is called MAP. So you map it out. You map out your influence, and M is for manifest where you want to go. really understand your vision. Because if you're trying to get buy-in, you got to know what people are buying into. Simple as that. A is for assess their vision. Understand these other people. What future are they trying to build? And then find the overlap. And that's what you're going to promote. You're going to promote, where can we go together? Where can we work together? Where can we collaborate to create a better world that both I want to be living in and you want to be living in? And that's where influence, that double-sided part of the Venn diagram, that's where it lies. When you are saying, back to what we're talking about with product, I want to build something, you want to build something, let's build something together that we both think serves our larger purpose in the world. That's going to make us feel good about what we're providing. That's going to make us feel good about the impact we have. And so that's where MAP fits in.
That feel good part, that's when I see the nice music of your favorite song playing for you and the other person, and everything seems to be flowing pretty good at that point.
And there's high fives.
But when the DJ scratch, table scratch, I'm just making up words, but when that nice...
I live in Miami, we're all about the DJ scratch.
When that nice feeling just... like, whoa, what happened? This thing called communication. And when it comes to executive presence, it plays a big part.
Lack of alignment, lack of understanding, miscommunication, lack of understanding where there is alignment or there isn't alignment, just not talking the same language. And so you mentioned executive presence. If you're thinking about becoming a manager, if you're already a manager and you want to have more and more responsibility because you want to have more impact, as you said, it's not about wanting the bigger paycheck. It's not about wanting the bigger title. It's about wanting to have more impact, to grow the people who report into you so that they can have more impact, and so much more, right? There's so much more that comes with leadership, the value of that weight and also opportunity that you mentioned. And so if you're looking for that in your life, you have to recognize you have to start talking and looking and acting like a leader. It means you can't be the class clown anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It means you have to think about other people and wonder what's going to make them happy. It means you have to actually express your opinion, back to that decide. If you can't make decisions, no one's going to turn to you as a leader. And so taking baby steps in that realm of executive presence, of being able to own your own truth, to advocate for it, and to know, as we talked about, how to get buy-in for your ideas. Because being a leader is all about having followers. Yeah. You gotta have followers, otherwise you're not a leader. So what's it gonna take for you to bring in followers? That's where executive presence comes in. That's where word choice comes in. That's where tone comes in, and volume, and the way you communicate via email and when you send that email. There's so many factors in this that it's taken me years to really cement on what makes executive presence a thing. And I don't know about you, but early in my career, someone mentioned to me, oh, you need to have more executive presence, but they had zero feedback as to what that meant. And I don't want that for other people. So I try to make that a lot more clear so that everyone can rise.
Is needed. And once again, listen on Refocused Radio, watching us online. We're talking to our special guest, Tami Reiss. My next question to follow up on what we're just talking about is, after all these years of understanding that, not just for other people, but for yourself, what seems to be, or what was personally seemed to be the confidence killer for yourself, and how were you able to override that? Now you had the experience to learn from it and grow from it.
Well, right now, the thing I'm growing most from is the idea that I have 20 years of experience. I'm no longer the new kid on the block. I am not fresh out of college. And therefore, I come with those stripes and those scars and that knowledge of being exposed to hundreds of companies and thousands of leaders. And therefore, that's valuable. And I think a lot of people in business, they want to give out things for free, or they want to help more people, and I think free is going to help them do that. In reality, no one respects free. So you have to choose a number that's appropriate for you and the value you deliver. And so that's still where I struggle, because I want to like heal the world and give everyone everything, and that'll burn me out. And so finding the right amount of money and not thinking about it as, oh, well, you're getting a half hour of my time or an hour of my time. How much could that really be? It's not that you're getting a half hour or hour of my time. You're getting all my years of experience, all my insights from those years of experience, so that in a half hour, I can solve your problem, as opposed to you spending weeks and weeks banging your head against a wall. And so understanding back to that, I'm a product, right? So what is the value I'm giving someone when I serve them? How much is that worth? Because it's not 30 minutes, it's 20 years in 30 minutes.
Man, this is something that even I'm going to be tuning into. I'm going to be listening to this myself. So I always want to say, it's a new thing I'm doing since late last year. For our listeners and viewers, please, you know the deal. Just one time to share this with one person. What is being said right now with Tami, I think is something that everyone can benefit from who is looking for this particular topic. So please, one assignment, just share with a friend, and that's it. Because that is caring. So thank you so much.
I'm gonna blow their minds more. So I talked about the value, right? As a like, it's gonna be $5 or $5,000 per minute, whatever that is. Most people, I work as a coach, consultant, teacher, trainer. You get paid. I get paid for my time. Most people do not value their time. They have no idea the value of their time. They spend 3 hours shopping to save 5 cents on gas. You just lost 3 hours of your life. Time is the only thing you can't get back.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why are you spending an hour on the phone trying to get a hold of somebody to save $5? Like, that's not the best use of your time. What the best use of your time is spending time with the people you love, building more relationships, building your business. But we all get stuck on these nickel and dime things, trying to find a deal. And it's like, no, stop. Your time is valuable. Everyone's time is valuable. And as a consultant, it's really easy to quantify that, but everyone should quantify that. What is your time worth? Because we don't have very much of it. And how do you want to spend it?
It's very important to know, not just that, but when you think about the end game, when you think about what is my destination going to be, what am I here for? I mean, that's the whole essence of this show. Refocused.
How do I want to be? What impact do I want on the world in my time here?
Yeah.
Right? What do I not necessarily want to be known for? Because you don't have to be known for anything. Mm-hmm. But who did I have impact on? What did I do that made my community, my family, my company, my city, whatever it is, better than it was when I started? And unfortunately, a lot of us are doing a shit job at that. I just want to be clear. The world, like from an environment perspective, we're making a lot of mistakes. But we as individuals can make choices that are better than the global perspective on things.
Yeah, we don't have to stay in that cycle of There's a time when you get on the roller coaster, and then there's a time when you get off the roller coaster. And when you get off that roller coaster, things seems to get a little bit better. It's when you stay on that roller coaster, it's like, what am I doing? I keep doing this. What am I doing?
I use a different metaphor, which is when you're driving on the highway, right? You're trying to get to your destination, the beach, dinner, whatever it is. Sometimes you're in express lane, and you could even, if you've got a fancy car, I do not, you can go on autopilot and it'll just take you there, right? Mindless, go. Other times you might get stuck in traffic. You might take a detour. Detours are a good thing. detours are where adventures happen. Right? Like, how often on a car trip did you pull over and have an adventure in some random town that wasn't your destination, but you built a memory there? And you learned something new there, or you met someone new there. And so very often we get blinders towards our destination of, we want this kind of life, we want this kind of salary, we want this kind of partner, we want this kind of family. And in reality, like, very few things are linear.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, when I think about the growth of the show, like I shared with you in the green room, you talking about crazy ride. Oh, yeah, this show has been a crazy ride in a good way, because despite the challenges, I mean, it gets real. Like, you talking about understanding what growth looks like. A lot of it comes after the setbacks. Like, I never met, all these years I interview all these famous people and celebrities and successful CEOs and business people. I never met one person that had it easy. I never met one person that just luckily, like, someone gave them a blueprint and they just been in rainbows and sunshine their whole life. They all have something that put them in a dark place, this setback. But the reason why they have made it, and reason why they have such a powerful story and done great things, is because they used that chapter to launch them into something greater. Without those setbacks, there's nothing we can do.
I don't know if you've read the book Grit, but grit is all about resilience, and that having grit is a better predictor for success than high IQ or natural physique. It's about the hard work. It's about, how do you show up the next day when you scrape your knee? How do you show up to your team when the product launch fails, right? When you lose funding? That's where you really have the opportunity to rise and earn respect.
Yeah.
And like,
there'll be some days where you scrape both knees. You just gotta be like, hey, laugh it off and say, hey, that's comedy for my next tour, and we're gonna just keep this thing going.
And you know what? It's also okay to say, you know what? I just scraped both my knees. I might need to take a day to reflect. How did I end up in a situation where I scraped both of my knees, right? Why was I looking at my cell phone or whatever? What distracted me from my objective? It's also okay to step back, right? You don't have to force yourself to get back into the express lane just because someone else told you so.
That's good.
Sometimes learning takes a little longer for some of us, and that's okay. Like, we all work at our own pace, and it's so important to recognize that you have your own story, and just because you can read someone else's story doesn't mean you really understand what happened, and doesn't mean you should try to emulate it.
That's real. Man, you got bars. Okay. Once again, listen, I'm Refocused Radio, talking to our guest today, Tami Reiss. My last question, because we're so short in time, and that's this. When you think about building something that is worth watching later, if you will, what have you learned over the years, building your legacy, building your influence and your impact to the world, that you wish to pass forward and pay forward to someone who listens to this and say, you know what? I know you hear all the glitz and glamour, but here's the real deal. And this is what I'm doing for my legacy.
I would say that this comes back to the product mindset on things. Solve a problem. Find a problem to solve. Don't find an opportunity to make money. Find a problem to solve. Find a way to serve that problem, and the people who are struggling with whatever that is, that's where the money comes. Like, the revenue, the money, it all comes from a place of someone else is in pain. How do I alleviate that? And the more you can fall in love with making problems better, the more you can fall in love with reducing pain for other people, making things smoother and easier and time saving, it pays off for you too. But it doesn't come from I'm looking for a business opportunity. I'm going to find a business opportunity, a slice. No. Find something you're passionate about, that you'll feel good that you've made that problem go away for a certain number of people. It can be 2 people. It doesn't need to be 20 million people, but that that happened and it makes everything better. Like Just Not Sorry, you mentioned it earlier. I don't talk about it that much anymore. It's 10 years old, but I was just in Israel, and a person who I went to high school with, I knew for 20 years of my life, and then I haven't seen her for 20 years. She said to me when we were having brunch, she said, Tami, I want you to know, whenever you launched Just Not Sorry, I didn't download it. I didn't plug it in. I read an article about it. And that article changed my life, because simply learning about this concept of word choice and not saying just or sorry or I think or I believe or does this make sense or trying or kind of or sort of, simply realizing that those things were standing in my way made me more conscious of it, and it made me a stronger communicator, and it made me a better wife, and it made me a better manager. And this is something that I put out for free after 2 days of work in 2015. And she still remembers that as the thing that was a turning point. That conversation will leave me glowing for the next few months. It's not the deal I signed yesterday. It's not the, whatever happens at my Sunday birthday party for my 6-year-old and all the hoopla there. It's knowing that someone's life is better because of something I put out in the world. So that's
good. I want to say this for our viewers and listeners. You have a story too, and you have something worth valuable sharing for the world. And don't ever think that you can't do something. As someone said this to me recently, late last year, and it was just in conversation. And I was talking. He cut me off and he said, wait, hold up, Shemaya. Don't ever say if. Say when. Because if will always have a question mark when you're willing to commit to start. When it pushes you to move now.
Can I do another one for you? When you say I can't do something, add yet. It's like the 3-letter word of the growth mindset, yet. I can't do this yet. Mm-hmm. There's a world of possibilities out there in the future. Right now, all right. But the second you say yet, it opens the door to sometime soon or not soon, that might be different. I'm not fixed in the state I'm in right now. I'm constantly improving. I can choose to change that can't to a can, as you said, when I choose. But I'm not closing the door.
Yeah. Man, this could be another hour show because, man.
Yeah.
I need to think about something else. God's funny. Sometimes we think closed doors are missed opportunities, but he just kind of protected us for a better opportunity.
Yeah.
Before our time. And
you never know what window opens, right?
Boom. Boom. Say that again for those in the back real fast.
You never know what window opens when a door closes.
Man, that's good stuff. Once again, wow, I just feel like people are doing poetry snaps or something in the background, because that's why I have people like Tami on the show, because obviously she's been through some things that has allowed her to have this type of wisdom. But I want to emphasize what I said earlier for those who are the audience. It's because of y'all why we have these shows. We don't just do this stuff because it's just something to do. It's opportunity for us to give you some insight with someone who has such powerful experience that has put them in the position to say some things that will make your light cut on and say, Okay, say less. Let's get to work. But I want to say this. If you can say one thing to encourage somebody to get their act together, get it together this year, 2026. Don't wait till next year. Don't wait till tomorrow. After you hear the show, you got to start doing this right now. What will you say to a person to encourage them to stop stalling and take this opportunity seriously? Because once in a lifetime could be right now.
So I'm trying to be better about talking about this. And so I hope that this shocks you and everyone else. And that is that I have a diagnosis of bipolar 2, which means I have a mental health disorder. And you might have just heard everything I did and said, oh, confident, accomplished, blah, 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 blah. By the way, I struggle every day. And I take medicines and I have therapy. And you know what? I'm a better person because of that. And so the bipolar label or any other label we take upon ourselves, we don't have to take the stigma with it. Don't label yourself as too young, too old, too colored, too white, too anything, too unstable, too none of. Remove the stigma of the labels. You can be young, you can be old, you can be ethnic, you can be, rich or poor. All of those things are a state of being. They don't define you. Don't let the labels that other people put on us or we put on ourselves prevent you from going after what you want. So that's my final message to everybody.
On that note, we just have to invite her back on the show because we are flat out of time. And I know that's a bad cliffhanger because y'all like, no, man, we was just getting to the good part. Well, unfortunately.
That was a good cliffhanger, right? It was like,
no, it's a great thing. It's just sad because we had to put the show to the pause and have you back on in the future. But before we sign off, if you can share with our audience what's the best way they can stay in touch with you online.
If you spell my name right, Tami Reiss, that was Tami Reiss. You can check out my website or my blog or my LinkedIn or my Instagram or my YouTube. It's all under the same thing. As long as you're not finding the WNBA coach named Tami Reiss with 2 M's, you're in the right place. And I share tons of things online. I have a whole GPT for confident communication. I am all about providing free opportunities for people who are hungry. If you're hungry, there are opportunities to learn, and all you need is a library card. So I want to help you do that. And beyond that, if you want to hire me for your team so that they can be inspired too, that's its own bag of worms. But more than anything, be hungry for more information, be hungry for change in your own life, and you'll find good sources.
Once again, I want to say to Tami, thank you for your time.
This was so fun. Thanks for giving me a platform.